Now, that's essentially tremors, but here we are in front of my 71 Oldsmobile battle. I tell you what, last time I drove it was the summer, and I really haven't been starting it much. In fact, it doesn't even have oil in it right now. Well, I put the oil filter on, but it likes to leak oil through the drain plug. And then I want to start it, and I want to test the oil pressure. If you look at the forums, you can see general rule of thumb is about 20 psi at idle or 10 psi per 1,000 RPM. And I looked in the chassis service manual on page 12-33. There's a troubleshooting chart, and it says if the oil light comes on when the car is idling, then that means either your light is bad or it has insufficient oil pressure. And then on page, I think it's 6B8, it lists procedures for replacing the oil pump. But I need to test the oil pressure and see if the noise is due to low oil pressure, or if the noise might just be a collapsed lifter or maybe a bent push rod or something like that. So we'll see what we find out. So right here I have 20 W50, which is a band-aid to take up all the extra slop in an old engine. But we'll see. See, I had been in this oil container in the past. Like I said, I filled the oil filter, but I didn't put any in the crankcase. So let's go ahead and put the rest in the crankcase so we can give her a start. This is new oil. In fact, I changed the filter a couple months ago when I changed the oil the last time I drove it, the last full-length video I did. And I think there's some nastiness in the oil, which means that either the cam is coming apart or a lifter has self-destructed. We'll see what the oil pressure is. You might hear that humming. That's a battery charger. Since it hasn't been started in the age of the earth, it might not be easy to start. We'll see. Whoa, buddy. Here's the oil pressure gauge. We use this one right here when we check the pressures on the C6 in my Bono's truck. Today we'll go ahead and use this guy, max of 100 PSI. I am going to be surprised if we see over 10 PSI at idle battle. So this guy right here with the blue wire is my oil pressure gauge. I have a deep socket that'll allow me to remove the oil pressure sensor. Here's the old oil pressure sensor. So I suppose it could be bad, but it ticks so bad that I think we're going to have low oil pressure battle. And the fitting on this hose happens to be the right one. The same one that I used on the C6. And there's a little bit of transmission fluid in this hose, but it won't damage anything. That's the proper thread. See, I should be able to get it on since the end rotates freely of the hose. You just gotta hold your tongue right, Battle. When you use a gauge, you wanna make sure that the maximum reading on the gauge is higher than the expected reading that you're gonna get. So we're gonna use this one. Like I said, I think we'll be lucky if we see 10 or 12 PSI. even press the gas to the floor. Let me give her some gas. Whoa, buddy, that's fuel. Stinky. I can smell the fuel. It was leaking fuel right here. In fact, it's gathered right there on top of the intake manifold. But I think I saw that it was 40 to 50 PSI battle. So actually that's good. Man, see all that fuel battle? That's why you always keep a fire extinguisher handy. You know, knock on wood. Surprisingly, she started pretty easily. I guess that means that I have the carburetor and the timing pretty well dialed in, right? And of course, this fuel is super stinky. It's old. Let's see if I can tighten this up. Hopefully it wasn't my fitting. Hopefully it was just not tight. Can you hear it, Battle? That fitting isn't leaking anymore, Battle. So, looks like we got almost 50 PSI. Let me go ahead and up the RPM for you a little bit, Battle. That's about 50 PSI. I'll check with my other gauge. Let's see what my other gauge reads. If it's 50 PSI, we should get a little bit of a reading. Here goes, Battle. Yep. Looks like my oil pump is good. So my lifter tick is either lifters, push rods, rocker arms. Hopefully it's not the valves. I did a compression check after I got the heads on and it was good compression. So Battle, thanks for helping me out today. Looks like we got good oil pressure still. So that fuel is definitely old. It's stinky. I'm glad she started right up, but I guess that means we get to take the intake manifold off maybe. Put some lifters and push rods in her. I'll see you next time, Battle. I'm just going to go ahead and start her, and we'll make sure that the oil pressure sensor works correctly. So that was generator. But there's no oil pressure light. Of course, that could be the 20W50. It is a Band-Aid. Maybe next time I should take her for a drive. That tick doesn't sound so bad with a 20W50 in there. Anyways, at least she's not coming apart at the seams. There's the new oil pressure sensor. So maybe I have enough evidence that the oil pressure sensor is bad. All right, Nice. Great. See, that's a fail. It broke my gauge. So battle. She broke. And it looks like my other gauge still works because I'm reading right below 60 psi, even though I broke the glass on it.